Hi, everyone. Welcome to music. We are continuing to learn about 20th century music, and this week we're starting a new decade, the 1990s. We are getting closer and closer to the current time, so you probably know someone from the 90s, maybe a teacher or a nurse or an older sibling that was born in this decade. Let's talk about some major events of the 90s. The Hubble Space Telescope was launched in 1990, and it's still there. It's orbiting Earth, taking photos of objects in space. Also in the 90s, one of the most complete T Rex fossils was found in South Dakota. Its name is Sue, after the person who discovered it, and it's now on display in Chicago, Illinois. The internet, which we talked about in the 80s as a way for scientists to share research, became more widely available in the 90s to basically anyone with a computer and a phone connection. The Mall of America in Minnesota and Euro Disney in Paris both opened in 1992. Have you been to either of those places? And finally, if you're a Harry Potter fan, you might like to know that the first three books of the series were published in the 1990s: Sorcerer's Stone in 97, Chamber of Secrets in 98, and Prisoner of Azkaban in 99. Some big musical events that happened in the 90s were concerts and festivals, and the first one we're going to talk about is called Lollapalooza. It's now an annual 4-day event held in Grant Park in Chicago, but it began in 1991. It was created by singer Perry Farrell as a farewell tour for his band, and performances for Lollapalooza include, but are not limited to, alternative rock, heavy metal, punk rock, hip hop, and electronic music. Unlike previous festivals like Woodstock or the US Festival, which were one time events at a single venue, Lollapalooza originally toured across the United States and Canada through July and August of 1991. The inaugural or first Lollapalooza lineup was diverse, made up of lots of artists from different styles like alternative rock, Susie and the Banshees, industrial music, which is electronic music like Nine Inch Nails, and hip hop music like Ice-T. The first Lollapalooza tour stopped in more than 20 cities across North America. The 90s also saw two new Woodstock festivals. The first was Woodstock 94, which was held to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the original Woodstock. Though only 164,000 tickets were sold, the crowd at Woodstock 94 was estimated at about 550,000, so lots of people snuck in without tickets. Woodstock 94 has also been called Mudstock or Mudstock 94 due to the rainy weather that resulted in mud pits and infamous performances by Nine Inch Nails and Green Day. Can you imagine being up on stage getting mud thrown at you? It's crazy. There was another Woodstock festival in 1999. It was the second large-scale festival that tried to recreate the original Woodstock. And like the previous festivals, it was held in upstate New York, this time in a different city. It's called Rome. It was about 100 miles from the original site, and about 400,000 people attended over 4 days. Some of the biggest acts at the festival were the popular bands of the time, Limp Bizkit, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Korn. Unfortunately, Woodstock 99 was remembered for uncomfortably hot weather, violence, and vandalism. So, the Woodstocks of the 90s didn't exactly capture the peace and love vibe of the original event, and they haven't planned any big events like this since. All right, let's listen to some songs of the 90s. On the next few slides, you'll see some hit songs from this decade. And this week, we'll focus on rock songs. We just talked all about rock in those summer festivals. And this decade, a major rock style was called alternative rock. Alternative is a category of rock music that emerged from the independent underground music of the 70s. So, music that wasn't really well known to everyone. But it did become widely popular in the 90s. Alternative refers to the genre's separation from mainstream or commercial rock or pop music. So basically, they didn't really care what was popular, they just made music that they liked. A subgenre of alternative rock is called grunge. Grunge combines elements of punk rock and heavy metal, featuring distorted electric guitar sound from each genre. Grunge lyrics are usually, but not always, angry and address painful themes such as isolation, self-doubt, and trauma. So choose one song from each slide, one alternative, one grunge. While you listen, identify the mood or the feeling. Is it an angry song or is it a little bit lighter and happier? and then choose which song you liked best.